Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Our game today is going to be a PvZ, Jaedong versus Snow. It's going to be on Blue Storm. Quite an old map. We haven't seen that one in quite a while, but for whatever reason, it seems to be making a comeback in competitive play. Maybe people are starting to get interested in it again. But this is one of my absolute favorite maps to see, especially in the PvZ matchup. It's so macro heavy, lots of units colliding in the center. You also have a lot of early game shenanigans where Protoss has a difficult time forge fast expanding properly. Zerg can do shenanigans with lots of early speedlings and stuff like that. So it's a very cool map, lots of cool stuff that we can potentially see. This is Jaedong down here in the bottom left-hand corner, and Snow up in the top right. Looks like Snow is gonna be going ahead and putting down that pylon first. Looks like he's gonna be going for that Forge Fast expand. The Forge Fast expand on Blue Storm is a little bit funky because you kind of have to deal with two different chokes at the same time. So he's basically gonna make a wall up using his Nexus, but usually this requires you to actually make a second cannon to cover all of your mineral line, or at least just a lot of babysitting of your units early on to actually take care of it. But Jaedong is actually going for that early 9 pool, so he's definitely looking to put on a lot of pressure early on and prevent his opponent from really getting that economy up very greedily. So far, pretty good harassment there with that probe. We'll see how Snow actually adapts to this. He still hasn't made a forge, so I'm a little bit curious about that. He's waiting until 12 or 13 to actually make it, even though he's got a Stein pool. So he must be pretty confident in this timing. He knows that he can go ahead and throw that down at 13 at the latest, and he'll still get that cannon in time. Probably actually needs to put down 2 cannons in order to prevent a couple links from running by. If 6lings do get in there, they can go ahead and run by or kill the cannon outright, and then it can become a definite problem for the Protoss player. So we'll have to see. So far, it looks like Jaedong's going to be making at least 2 pairs of lings. Maybe he'll go for the 3rd pair to run by, maybe not. But Snow has scattered out the larva count so far. He's feeling pretty confident that Jaedong has spent a lot of larvae into drones, and now seeing that extra drone coming out, I think that's going to affirm his decision that going for this Nexus first was a good idea, going for the Nexus before the cannon. So he's going to be in a pretty good spot. The probe can actually also delay the links for quite a long time by just sitting in these chokes and preventing them from actually moving around. So that's very nicely done by Snow. Very comfortable in this defense. He's going to be able to get all of his buildings up, be able to get a very nice wall up in the meantime. So here there's these 2 probes just blocking off until the cannon gets up. It's just going to send them back to mine when they start to get low, and there's the cannon fishing. This is defended at this point. So very nicely done. Jaedong going for that triple hatch in the far away position up in the top left hand corner. That's going to allow him to go ahead and transition very smoothly into the later portions of the game. He can take his 4th hatch at the base in between, and then just kind of rally all of his units to the high ground area just off center of the middle of the map. The probe does get in, gonna be able to get the scout, see the gas timing. I don't think Snow's gonna be very surprised by what he sees though. This is very, very standard so far, but he's definitely looking for the lair. He wants to make sure that it's not Zergling speed first, it's not some sort of a weird 3-hatch Hydra build, but now that he sees that lair in the natural, he's going to be feeling very comfortable. Jaedong with only 2 lings, it's going to be difficult for him to actually chase down this probe. Meanwhile, what's happening back at Snow's base? That's what I want to know. I figure he's probably going to be going for the standard Stargate build, but he does have 2 fairly early gates out. He might be going for that +1 Zelt leg speed that has become more and more common as of recent. Actually, it looks like it was just 2 very early gates even before his gas, so he's actually going to be pumping out quite a few slow zealots early on. This has kind of the dual purpose of giving him a little bit more defense versus early link shenanigans, but also allows him to pump out a ton of zealots early on to start putting out pressure long before Zerg is actually ready to deal with it. But this does mean that his tech is going to be quite delayed. We'll have to see how this works out for him so far. Jaedong just scouting around the map, trying to get a good idea of where everything is for his opponent. I don't know if he's actually seen these zealots coming out across the map. Doesn't look like he has. So he's not actually going to get any forewarning until these zealots get in here. And the zealots can actually block off that choke as they're retreating. Yeah, you can hear Jaedong is very disappointed that this is happening right now. He's going to have to evacuate that natural, and already these 3 Zealots doing quite a bit of work. Doesn't want to get drone drilled. Oh, big mistake from Snow, accidentally getting his units drone drilled there. He's not really being able to utilize these chokes as effectively as he would like. So, going to end up losing his units. All of the Zealots are going to go down. That's a little bit unfortunate for him. Pretty bad micro there on his part. But Jaedong has help for now. He's getting the Hydra Din up right now. So he's going to be in good shape to transition into the later parts of the game. Stargate going up. Double Stargate actually going up for our Protoss player Snow. Very smart idea as well. You get your opponent to overcommit to Lings. Maybe try to make a crazy switch into Mutas, but as long as you have that double Stargate, it's much more difficult to do so. Just trying to be as annoying as possible with these Zealots, but not going to get too much more done. So far, the defense from Jaedong has been pretty impeccable, although he does lose 1 drone there. That's a little bit unfortunate. He needs to make sure that he's not losing any more of these drones, because every single drone matters very much. Another drone going down. He's going to get another one. Wow, gets another one. So this is slowly starting to pay off for Snow. He's bought himself a lot of time using only minerals. Now he's got the double Stargate up with the +1 on the way. There are a lot of Lings out for Jaedong though. It looks like he may try to go for a counterattack. He's got the Spire up already, but it's going to be very difficult for him to actually transition into the Mutalisk. So this has been very well done, very well masterminded by Snow. Very well utilizing this space in between the minerals this time around. He had a lot of trouble last time, but looks like he's having a lot more success this time around. Lots of cannons going down inside the bases. He's hiding all of the Corsairs. He's pulling them back in his main base. So he's definitely going to be looking for the surprise play on Jaedong. But Jaedong's got a pair of Scourge out right now. Gonna be going in and scouting into those bases right now, seeing what's going on. More Zealots continuing to just harass and be super annoying. This one's going to get picked off before it does any damage at all, but it's definitely caused a lot of problems for Jaedong. Right now you can see Snow's actually getting ready to trap his own probe. He's got that probe trapped, so now he can stack all of his Corsairs up. Nice little trick you can do there. If you're not experienced Protoss player, you can just trap that probe in there with the pylon. But Jaedong does scout the double Stargate. He's going to see what's going on right now. I think this is going to be a little bit of panic mode for him. He's got to go ahead and start building that Hydra Din. He doesn't even have the Hydra Din up. He's just going to have to double spore at every single one of his bases if he wants to keep all of his Overlords alive. Snow, however, is playing very carefully. He wants to wait until he has 6 or 7 Corsairs before he starts moving out. That's really the magical number. Once you have 6 or 7 Corsairs with +1, you one-shot Scourge. So he's just being very careful. He wants to make sure that he's not taking any risks at all. But now they're out on the map. They're going to start killing off these Overlords. They're going to start sweeping out Vision. Luckily, Jaedong does have a lot of Zerglings from before, so he can still continue to use those Zerglings to spread them out across the map, get tons of Vision. In the meantime, though, he's going to be losing a lot of Overlords. A really nice flank with those Scourge. Actually going to be able to kill off 2, 3 of those Corsairs, and with even more Scourge coming out, this is an insane amount from Jaedong. Jaedong really just doesn't care at all about whether or not the Corsairs counter the Scourge. He's just going to get really nice flanks and pick them off one by one. Very well done by Jaedong. Again, impeccable defense in the face of something that he really wasn't expecting. Lots of Zealots moving out right now, though. Are they going to be trying to go for an attack? So far, it's just been Lings. If the +1 is done on those Zealots, could be very, very dangerous for him to deal with. I don't think it's done quite yet. It looks like it's still researching there at the Forge. In the meantime, these Corsairs continuing to wreak havoc on any Overlords that are out on the map. That's going to be very annoying. Jaedong has a decent amount of Scourge out, though, so he's going to be able to ward it away for now while he builds up the Hydralisk count at home. However, no defense over here at the third base. We've got one sunken, but seems to be enough to deter Snow for now. Snow really playing very cautiously. Wants to make sure that he's just playing the macro game. He's just extending his lead more and more, but losing another Corsair to the Scourge, not really what you want to do at this point in the game. Oh my gosh, he's going to lose yet another Corsair. So Jaedong doing a really good job with all of these Scourge, just constantly moving them around. We've got some DTs out now for Snow, but with the amount of Corsairs that have already been picked off, I don't think that he can really use the air dominance that he wants to. Lots of Lings running in right now. Are they going to be able to pick off this first High Templar? Looks like they are. Oh, he stops the Archon merge. He's going to be able to pick off 1, 2 High Templars. That is a huge deal. That is insane for Jaedong right now. So very well done. A very efficient trade right there. And that's actually going to enable him to start pushing out with the 6-hatch Hydra. Maybe even bust his opponent. He has so much production right now. And there's almost nothing out for Snow to actually defend this. He's got the Overlord speed as well, so he's not too worried about the Dark Templar either. This has been beautiful play coming out from Jaedong. So he's going to try to take this third base, but this might be a mistake trying to take it this early. He's going to have to micro like a god if he's going to be able to hold this off with just pure Zealots and a few DTs. This is very, very well done so far. He's going to try to snipe the Overlord as soon as possible, but so many Scourge are going to be coming in. Going to be able to pick off a lot of those Corsairs. Only 1 Corsair remains. This might actually just be the end of the game, but there are just too many Zealots. They're actually going to push back all of these Hydras. The split wasn't quite good enough from Jaedong. He's actually just going to get overrun by all of these +1 Zealots. Going to have to retreat for now. Behind this, it looks like he was just focused on continuing his drone count, making sure that he gets all his upgrades. So as much as this attack was set up for success, wasn't quite able to actually do it. He's going to continue to kite back using the high ground advantage right here. Going to be able to do a pretty decent job of pushing this back. But this Corsair, unfortunately, looks like it might be on its last legs. That is going to be the end of the air fleet for Snow. In the meantime, Jaedong just doing an excellent job of controlling the map, getting tons and tons of vision. He's got lots of Hydras. Looks like he might be trying to go for a follow-up attack, but at this point, there's Dragoons out, there's a High Templar, healthy number of High Templar, even a few cannons of that expansion. So I think that, all things considered, Snow has stabilized and actually done very well for himself, managed to hold that defense very, very nicely. Even sending a couple of Zealots over here up to the top left-hand corner, just as a distraction for Jaedong right now. Gonna force him away from this expansion, gonna force him to defend with all these Hydras instead of attacking. So this is very well done by Snow right now. He's buying a lot of time for himself. In the meantime, he's gonna try to snipe a couple Overlords that are hanging out over here. Gonna be able to pick off 1. Is he gonna be able to get the second? Hopefully. I think he just barely may have gotten it. This is very nicely done so far. Has Jaedong properly swapped into the Lurkers though? Hydras are very, very good in the early stages of the game versus the gateway units, but once you start getting those High Templar into the mix, once you start getting a healthy number of Dragoons, it becomes much harder for those Hydralists to actually get much work done. So he's gonna have to go into that Lurker tech pretty soon. With this 4th base up, I would assume that he's gonna start doing it. There's the Lurker starting to morph now, but he's got a timeline to actually defend this before that Lurkers get up. Good storms raining down on a lot of those Hydras so far. Gotta be very careful on how he controls that. Lurkers are still only halfway done, not quite finished, and no more respawning Hydralists coming down yet. He's gonna have to defend these very, very heavily. Lurkers are out right now. They're gonna be able to start pushing this back. They are gonna be able to get down in the ground before the storms do some serious damage. And this looks like it might be pushed back for now, but oh, Snow actually taking advantage of the positioning of these Lurkers, going to be able to run straight by and start threatening that top left-hand base. Meanwhile, behind, he's got a shuttle going up as well as a 4th base. Very aggressive expansions coming out from Snow right now, and he's actually going to be going for a Storm Drop to follow this up. This has been a beautiful timing so far by Snow, but is it enough to actually break Jaedong? Jaedong is reorganizing, he's regathering his resources so that he can actually defend this drop. But is he going to see this drop? He sees it just in time. Wow. Very quick reflexes from Jaedong. Going to be able to pull the drones, instantly save them. So very well done. Very nicely defended. And Jaedong is slowly building up steam. Right now, only a 30 supply differential, which is not that big considering this matchup. As Jaedong starts to get that 4th base up and running, as he secures a 5th base, probably up in that 12 o'clock position soon, he's going to have more and more leeway to start just massing up tons and tons of units in the center of the map and pushing through. Right now, he's got the Speedlings out on the way. Do they have Adrenal Glands yet? It doesn't look like it. It looks like he's still a little bit ways off that, but he's going to be able to pick off at least 2 of these cannons over here in this new expansion, which is Gonna cause a little bit of annoyingness for Snow. Maybe even picking off a High Templar here. This would be really good. Gonna be able to pick off one of the High Templars before it actually gets across the map. So again, very nicely done. And this is Jaedong just slowly splitting the map. He used that small counterattack pressure to actually buy time for himself to get lots of lurkers. He's completely fortified this ridge up here. It's much harder for Protoss to actually get in here. But Snow is going to try to push in anyway. He's got a healthy number of Dragoons, a decent number of Storms, but he's got to be really careful about pushing in here. If he pushes in and loses too many units, costs inefficiently, could be a real problem for him. But so far, it looks like he's going to be pushed back right now. More reinforcements from Jaedong coming in. They're going to be able to get right on top of all these units. All of the Protoss forces being pushed back, but good Storms kiting back is the best he can, but lots of Dragoons going down. This is not what you want as a Protoss player. You want to keep as many Dragoons alive as possible, and for looking at the counts of the supply, it's starting to even out. Jaedong is catching up in the supply. Once they're even on supply, that means Jaedong usually has a gigantic advantage, so we'll have to see how he deals with this in the coming moments. He's got some Scourge up also as well to deal with any sort of drops that come in, also to deal with the potential for Observer Snipes, etc., etc. But big Zealot run by coming into this natural, seeing how much economy damage he can actually get in on these drones. Not sure that it's going to be enough. Jaedong really good with drone micro so far, got units back in position to actually deal with it. And behind the Snow doesn't really have any plans. He had a big army moving out, but wasn't able to actually break the center of the map before the units will come back to reinforce it. It's just going to be throwing away more Zealots on top of all these units. The Dragoon count is way too low at this point in time, and doesn't have any Archons in the mix. And now with Speedlings out, they're just going to eat all of these Zealots. Big mistakes coming out from Snow, and this is Jaedong just starting to overrun the center of the map. As long as he doesn't overcommit to this, he'll actually be in a fantastic spot to go ahead and force the rest of this game. Great Storms coming out from Snow, though. Is going to be able to kill off a large chunk of that Zerg army, but more units just flooding across the map for Jaedong. Going to be able to continue to push forward, continue to push the Protoss army back as far as possible, and this is why I love Blue Storm. It's just never-ending macro from both players, just throwing units at each other back and forth on the center of the map. A small Zealot run by going to try to get some damage on, but is spotted immediately. Going to be pushed back right now. Well done defense by Jaedong. He's got a pretty nice contain up here on the top of the ramp, but not enough units to support these lurkers, and a couple of Storms are actually going to take all of these lurkers down, or at least push them out of position. And Snow has stabilized for now. He's got that high ground area stabilized, and he's even got the bottom right hand base as a fourth base up. So this is going, all things considered, very well for Snow. 4 bases versus Zerg. This is when you start to feel really confident versus Zerg. You have all of the strengths that you need. You can start building up that huge Archon count. So I think this is definitely a good moment for him, but Jaedong does have an Overlord drop. It's going to be coming into the main pretty soon. He's going to try to fortify this middle position, maybe try a simultaneous attack to catch his opponent off guard. If he can start pushing up this ramp and convince his opponent there's a big attack coming in pretty soon, he might be able to do pretty well. But Reaver drop coming into the natural, is it going to be enough to pick off a lot of units? It looks like it did pick off quite a few of those drones, but here comes the drop in the main. Going to be dropping down on top of all of these gateways. Going to shut down the production for now. Shuttle does go down in Jaedong's natural, though, so there is no more saving grace for this Reaver. That Reaver will eventually get picked off. In the meantime, Jaedong doing tons of damage in the main base. Going to be able to pick off the main Nexus probably as well. And he's also pushing out across the center of the map. Actually, no, he's loading up for another drop. The Cybernetics core goes down. That is huge. And so is the Observatory. The Observatory is really low. He picks off that Observatory. That is huge. No more Observatory, no more Observers. At this point, if Jaedong just makes a bunch of Scourge, makes sure to snipe all subsequent Observers that come out, he can be in a really good position. But he's actually going to go for a drop down in the 6 o'clock position. Going to pincer movement down with the rest of his units as well. Try to catch all these units out of position as they're trying to go down to save this. But this Nexus is for sure falling to the Cracklings. Just absolutely insane moves from Jaedong right now. I'm gonna put down a couple Dark Storms just to make this ultra annoying to clean up. In the meantime, that 12 o'clock base up and running, doing swimmingly for Jaedong. And Snow is starting to fall apart. He's got a decent army, but not enough Archons in it yet. He's trying to go for perhaps a desperation counterattack into this natural or threaten the fort. But I don't know if it's going to work for him. He's lost a lot of observers. He can't remake them. He doesn't have any more storms either. So he's going to have to push back right now. And beautiful lurker flank coming out from Jaedong right now. He's going to try to pick off as many units as possible. Great storm from Snow, though. Going to weaken up a lot of those lurkers. But Jaedong just has complete control of the center of the map at this point. He's got that 12 o'clock base up and running. He probably is going to coordinate yet another drop going into the main. And there's nothing that Snow can do about it right now. He's desperately trying his best to get some sort of damage in. But oh my gosh, is this going to go down as well? It looks like the shuttle did go down. He's going to try to drop on top of this Reaver and make sure that he kills it off. Defends this base. This is a lot of Zealots, but they are not going to do any damage at all. Behind the Snow is trying to stabilize and jump start his main base again, but he lost a lot during those initial drops, and now with a couple of lurker drops coming in, this could also be disastrous for his economy. Big Zealot run by Jaedong, surprisingly not catching that out early enough, and instead is going to take some decent damage over there at his base, using some of his static defense. But he's got two lurkers in the main. Gonna just be annoying. But big drop actually might be coming on the way shortly. He's waiting for these units to be pulled out of position. He's got a couple of Zerglings going down to that bottom right-hand base to threaten as well. So this is very well done. But Snow stabilized. He's got that fourth base up and running. Lots of cannons. He's got a Reaver down there as well. So as long as he can actually just sit back and build up the Reaver count, hang back, builds up the Archon count, he should be in okay shape. It's really difficult for Zerg to actually break that without losing tons of units really cost inefficiently. More drops coming in. It looks like it's going to be a double shuttle drop for Snow. Is he going to be going into the main of the Zerg player? It looks like that is a play, and meanwhile he's also going to be pushing down and denying the 6 o'clock base as well. So good stuff from Snow right now, but is Jaedong prepared for this? I don't know if he's seen it on the minimap quite yet, but as soon as he sees these drops, he's definitely going to have to react fast, or else he can start losing a lot. There are a lot of Zealots lived in there, as well as, I believe, at least... Oh, no, it's just pure Zealots. So, big Zealot drop in the main. There's a couple units in position that are going to be able to deal with it for now. A couple more Zerglings running back to deal with it. And actually, this might not do much damage at all. Cracklings are so good versus those Zealots. Going to be able to pick them off quite easily. And now the Archon count is finally starting to get up there, but I wonder if it's a little too late for Snow right now. He's plummeting in supply down below the Zerg player. Hasn't been able to actually get up the big army that he would have liked. And throwing away that big drop into the main really cost him a lot of money and a lot of gateway time. So it's going to be a little bit problematic for him going to the later stages of the game. Another big attack going to be coming in right now. But so far it appears that Jaedong is ready for this great play going down on top of those units. Going to soften them up, make them very easy to kill off. Another great play going down on the backline as well. So this is just Jaedong just doing some initial poking just to try to weaken off the forces. And then he'll send another group or two of units to soften it up a little bit more, and another group to clean it up. This is how Zerg really plays in this late game. Meanwhile, big Doom drop coming up into the main base. Going to start picking off pylons, going to start picking off gateways. And this is the production of Snow. This could really hinder him going to the later portions of the game. Going to be able to pick off one of these. Never mind, it doesn't actually pick off the Templar, unfortunately. But he does have a very nice egg block over there, preventing the units from getting over there as fast as they would have liked. And just doing so much damage to the main base right now. Meanwhile, picking off the army in the center of the map. These Archons are still up, though. If he can pick off both the Archons, it could be really good for him. But it looks like they're actually going to escape with their life for now. Jaedong surprisingly going for a very Hydra-heavy late game. Usually you see almost only a Zergling Lurker at this point. So it looks like he's transitioning back into those Hydras, knowing that he has to deal with all of those Reavers. And there's the GG. Well played by Jaedong.